criminal justice system is comprised of many smaller systems and many other functions. The primary components of the criminal justice system are three things, and they are police, correctional agencies, and criminal courts. The police are in charge of manning the streets, keeping the community safe. Correctional agencies are in charge of keeping inmates safe and protected. And the criminal courts are in charge of trials that different criminal cases will go into and bailing out. In the criminal justice system, there are problems. One of these problems is the UCR not receiving every crime. Not every crime is reported because there is some sort of embarrassment tied to reporting the crime, such as rape. Like if a girl's raped, she might not want to report it because she's embarrassed. So not every crime is reported to the UCR. Overpopulated prisons. Many people go to jail every day for various crimes, and there is simply not enough room in prisons and jails to house all of these individuals. Another problem is mental illness. The courts sometimes do not know how to properly take care of people with mental illness and how to properly sentence them, how to properly handle these people, whether it's better for them to go into to get help mentally or physically by a doctor, or to go to jail for what they did. But they are working on making that a better process for people with mental illnesses. Another problem is drug sentencing. Running a criminal justice system uses a lot of money. So they used to, for drug sentencing, they would also give them help from rehab. But now, since money is tight, they have not been doing that. And that's a problem because people will just end right back up in jail if they don't actually get help. The UCR, which is the Uniform Crime Report, is a program that surveys crimes from around the country. It receives about 18,000 crime reports, and over the years it has evolved as new crimes overshadow old crimes. The UCR stopped using the crime index because it didn't properly report the crimes, because larceny theft was at the highest of the reports, and it dominated the other crimes that weren't as frequent but were more serious, like rape and murder. But the UCR noticed that issue and now has changed it so that they don't use the crime index, and the UCR changes it if necessary. The history of the criminal justice system. Over the years, crime has increased during different periods, like in the mid to late 1800s. After the Civil War and the increase in immigration, people had there was a spurge of criminal activity in America. Then there also, in the history, there's some dark history in the criminal justice system, and it's the issue of certain rights given to which people. Now, every person deserves every right, but in the 60s and the 70s, it was not that cut and dry. There was the civil rights movement, which wanted to get every person, no matter the race, the same rights. And they had a real battle with the government for this for many years. But the criminal justice system has acclimated and has always ended up doing what is right and what is the proper changes to make to the system to make sure everyone is treated the same and to make sure crime goes down no matter what the modern crime might be. The Pelian Principles. There are a total of 9, but there are 4 that I decided to really study and to get. And these were the 4 that I thought that were the most useful in today's society. The first one is the basic mission for which the police exist is to prevent crime and order. Throughout all of time, how long the police have been in society, they've always been here to prevent crime and to bring order, to keep everyone safe. And that's always, so when the Pelian Principles were made, that was their reason. Right now is the reason too. The second Pelian principle that I have chosen is the ability of the police to perform their duties is dependent upon public approval of police actions. Police are going to do their job no matter what the society says. So they are going to protect themselves, they're going to protect the society, and they're going to try to get rid of crime no matter what society says. I don't even know. And today, police really need to use this because no matter what's going on, they need to know that their job is important no matter what people say. The third one is police seek and prevent public favor not by catering to the public opinion, but by constantly demonstrating absolute impartial service to law. Once again, police are doing their job. They're going to do their job no matter what society is telling them. Their job is important, and their job is to prevent crime, like the first Pelian principle said. The fourth Pelian principle is police use physical force to the extent necessary to secure observance of the law or to restore order only when the exercise of persuasion, advice, and warning is found to be insufficient. Police are going to take action, physical action, if it's necessary. They're not going to sit there and not do anything if you're waving a gun around. So, back 100 years ago, police did that. Today, police do that. So they're going to take whatever action necessary to stop the criminal behavior. Individual who is progressing through the criminal justice system is going to go through 6 steps. First one being arrested after committing a crime. The second one is being booked in jail. The third one is being bailed out. If there is a set bail, like domestic violence or theft under a certain amount, usually has a set bail no matter what. So you can be bailed out at that point. Your next step is the first court appearance, which is where you go in front of the judge. The next step is arraignment. Arraignment is a formal reading of the defendant's crimes that are against him, read by the judge. The next step, and most likely the final step, is the plea bargain, where the defense attorney and the prosecutor make a deal, basically, where, let's say, the defendant would normally get 5 years, but he pleads guilty, so they give him only 2 years. Most cases end at a plea bargain. If not, they go into a criminal trial. But going into a plea bargain is cheaper for the system and for the individual and the defendant. Jobs in the courtroom. There's the judge, who is the judge of the courtroom. Another job in the courtroom is the court reporter. Reporter keeps track of everything that happens in the courtroom, who says what actions are taken by who. They keep track of everything that goes on in the courtroom. Another job in the courtroom is the bailiff. He is a law enforcement officer that makes sure order is kept at all times in the courtroom. Another job is the clerk of courts. This person is in charge of keeping all records on the criminal case. It includes everything done by any attorney, the judge, anyone, before, during, and after the trial. They also prepare juries and pick people for the juries. Another job in the courtroom is the jurors. These jurors are supposed to be unbiased people that will get to the end of the case and decide whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. They have the final say in whether it's guilty or not guilty on the defendant. Another job is the prosecuting attorney. They are speaking on behalf of the state and the people. Another job in the courtroom is the defense attorney, and they are on the side of the defendant, and they are trying to prove that the defendant is not guilty. Another job in the courtroom, which is my last job that I will describe, but is certainly not the last job that is in the courtroom. This person is the expert witness. This person is usually a doctor or a scientist or a person that has extreme expertise in a certain field. For example, this could be a doctor who conducted the autopsy if it was a murder case. That is the end of my presentation, and I hope you all enjoyed it.